What's up, interwebs? It's your realtor, Jeremy, and we need to talk. So I'm veering off from my normal sharing statistics to talk about something that has come up a bunch of times in the last few weeks. And that is this idea of this foreclosure tsunami. Everybody's calling it a tsunami because they think it's going to be this dramatic. When I say everybody, I mean the news. There's no realtor that's working in the market right now that thinks that there's a foreclosure tsunami coming. So let's start with just being clear. It's not. And let me explain why. Number one, for a foreclosure to happen, somebody needs to be not up to date on their mortgage payments. That definitely happened at the beginning of the pandemic where people lost their jobs. However, of the people that were in forbearance, there's just a very, very small percentage anymore of all mortgages are actually in forbearance right now. Another reason we're not going to see this foreclosure tsunami is the banks don't want to deal with the houses. What they dealt with in 2008, where they had thousands of homes on their bookkeeping sheets, they don't want that. They don't want that hassle. They don't want the difficulty there. Another reason is the appreciation level of houses. Let's say you're a homeowner and you bought a house in February of 2020. Let's say you bought a $400,000 house. And let's say you lost your job shortly after the pandemic. Well, let's see how much your house is probably worth now. So if you bought your house at $400,000, and let's just say for argument's sake, you only held it for a year, even though by now you've had it like 18 months. For argument's sake, let's just do a 1 year appreciation, which our 1 year appreciation mark is about 25%, give or take, but let's be even more conservative. Let's say you only appreciate it at 20%. That's $80,000 in 12 months. If we expand that up to 18 months, you're looking at closer to $100,000 or $120,000 that home that you bought right before the pandemic has appreciated. So if you're not able to make your payments and you've not been able to work out something with the bank, maybe restructuring your loan or something like that, because maybe you still haven't gotten a job yet, the bottom line is you can sell that thing and make a lot of money. So that's why we're just not going to see this foreclosure tsunami. The bottom line is for a foreclosure to happen, there has to be multiple things in play. The biggest thing that would have to be in play for a foreclosure tsunami of any kind to happen would be for house values to be lower than they were. And they're not. They're not by a long ways. Hey, if you're watching this video and you've not subscribed to the channel, and more than likely you've not, because only like 75% of the people that watch my show have actually subscribed. So would you do me a favor and click subscribe? Maybe like the video. If you didn't like the video, tell me why. Honestly, any engagement is good engagement right now. The next thing I'm hearing a lot is, oh, we're just waiting for prices to come down. That's not going to happen. I had clients that were like, we're at the top of the market like 2-3 years ago. We're so far ahead of that now. And there will be corrections. There always are. There always are adjustments and corrections. But we're not going to see any kind of negative movement. Nothing dramatic, but we're not going to see any kind of negative movement for a while. We still have a lot of people that are moving to the state looking for houses, and we still have a major shortage of inventory. We've definitely slowed down. It's not quite as frenzied as it has been for the last few months, but we're definitely not going to a downward trend. We're just slowing our rate of appreciation. My gut says we'll be appreciating closer to like 12%, maybe 10%, 12% come like February, March of next year. If you're holding out hope that house prices are going to come back down substantially, I don't know what to tell you other than it's just not. Now, people that have lived in Arizona for a long time, we were always known as a more affordable place to buy. You get more bang for your buck in Arizona than you could in some other neighboring states, especially like California. But one of the things that's happened during this pandemic and also just the economic climate in Arizona is that I think we've kind of hit a tipping point where the types of jobs we have available, the type of economic environment we're building in Arizona looks a little bit more like a California kind of economy. So when people that have lived here a long time are like, man, these house values can't be sustained, they actually can. Because the people that are moving here, we're definitely getting a lot of California transplants that have their extra cash they come from California with. But the types of jobs that we're creating in the Phoenix area, the Valley, from Goodyear and Surprise down to Maricopa and Casa Grande, all over the Valley, the types of jobs that we're adding are really, really good paying jobs. Many of them in the tech sector, many of them in security, electric vehicles. These are all industries that are paying their employees really well. And so, yeah, Arizona can sustain these kind of house prices. And yeah, we've definitely priced some people out of homes, out of home ownership. I think there will be some solutions down the road going forward as some new houses are being built, as we're building out a little bit further. You'll have some less expensive options. But the bottom line is there are people living here, working here, that can afford these house prices. So I don't see any kind of crash coming. I don't see any kind of doomsday scenario. And finally, the last reason why we're just not going to see a drop is because financing is still historically low. Mortgage interest rates are in the high 2s to low 3s, and that is so shockingly low. For anybody who's been watching the housing market since like 2008 or 7, won't realize, they're like, yeah, well, I remember it being 4 or 5%, so 3%, that's still pretty good. In the 80s, people were paying 12% interest to own a home. 12%! Lastly, the question I get asked all the time, is now a good time to buy? And the answer is yes. Historically low interest rates, even if you're trying to come up with a little bit more of a down payment, there are all sorts of programs that can get you into a house for a little bit lower down payment. And the reason I would push some of you to maybe look at buying now with a little bit lower down payment, let's go back to that example of the person that bought the house before the pandemic. They spent $400,000 in a house. When they bought their house and it appreciated 20% over a year, they netted $80,000. I don't know many people that can save $80,000 in a year. And if they can, they're probably not buying a $400,000 house. Homes are an amazing built-in savings plan, even if our appreciation rates slow down to like a 6 or 7%. So you buy a house now that's maybe $400,000, and let's say it appreciates only at 7%, which is really conservative because I don't think we've seen 7% appreciation in the last like 4 or 5 years. You're going to net $28,000. I don't know about you, but do you think you can save $28,000 in the next year? Oh, and mind you, that house that was $400,000 is now $428,000. If you have any questions, maybe they're more in-depth questions than what I've answered here, or you just want to know what's going on, or you want to know, should I buy right now or should I sell right now? I will always be honest with you. And I have told friends they wanted to buy a new house. And we looked at some and we talked about it and we decided that their house they have was great. And they weren't going to find something a lot better than what they had. And so my advice to them was stay. If you want to talk about where you're at and what you might do or should do or could do, let's talk about it. You can call me, text me, email me, Facebook message, Instagram message, comment below. Probably don't comment below, but you know what I'm saying. There's lots of ways to get a hold of me. I would love to talk to you about the potential of selling your home, the potential of becoming a first-time home buyer, the potential of moving up. Maybe you've been in your house for 18 years. I've been in my house 18 years. And you want to move up. Let's talk about how you can make that happen. I appreciate you guys watching this week's Valley Market Update. Kind of different format, but I had to answer some of these questions. I get them all the time. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.